So, I'm trying to figure out if yoga's worth my time. But in reality, I've been trying to figure this out for the last 10 years or so, or however old I am. You'll never know. But I started yoga when I was 13 to 14 years old. And I started with an app on my phone actually, and it would give me these poses and also a guided audio on how to do each pose, which was really helpful. I started doing it because I thought it looked fun, but also the benefits on it looked really shiny and cool. And you'll see that for most of my videos, that I start new things because I think it looks fun and the benefits look good. But the problem is I started a lot of things. So back to yoga, I started classes here and there, especially during college, and I got pretty good at it. But there was like one main problem, and that's that I couldn't keep a steady schedule with yoga. I seem to do it when it conveniences me, like when I have like a certain pain or something and I just like give it that good stretch, but I can't keep a steady pace with it. So as a challenge, I have decided to do yoga before bed for the next 5 days. Or the last 5 days. The reason is that yoga has been linked to benefits associated with stress. And personally, I have a hard time sleeping when I'm stressed about something because it's not done yet. But then I stress about it, but then I can't rest. And when I can't rest, I oversleep. And then I sleep through my alarm. And then I have less time to do the thing that I have to do. And it's this vicious cycle that I can't stop. Or something like that. Either way, I added yoga as one of the things to try to like de-stress and ultimately find something to do with my time other than be bored or in my thoughts. So I set up my yoga mat in the most awfully lit part of my apartment, and I do apologize for the lighting. As I mentioned, I am doing this before bed. As a consolation, here's my roommate's cat. She's really cute. She's chasing her own tail. Innocent and sweet. She doesn't get it though. She doesn't understand the things that we go through as humans. All she wants is pets. So for my yoga experiment, I decided to go with doing sun salutations, which is funny because I'm doing this when there's no sun out. Haha, ha 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 ha. Also, every day after practice, I journaled a little bit of my experience with that certain day and how I felt after the yoga. So day 1 of my yoga journey, my roommate's cat really wants attention. She's being adorable, but I have a mission, and that mission is very hard because this was way harder than I remember. I'm like really out of practice. There's even during like the second warrior pose, I even like trip. It's actually kind of embarrassing because I've been doing this for like a while. Look, it happens now. Wow, like that's just embarrassing, but it's fine. I'm gonna keep going. I'm just rusty. Day 2, I actually folded the map and relaid it out because I thought it would be more aesthetically pleasing, but once I sped up the audio and did it this way, it actually looks a little ridiculous, but I feel a little bit more confident on day 2. I even put accordion spine crack because I guess I got a good crack on my spine, you know, when that happens, I guess. And I also did an accidental pigeon pose right here, just showing off my yoga knowledge, but really I'm just stretching over to see all the poses because I don't remember them. Going on to day 3, I'm trying to breathe through my motions a little bit better, really like think about the next pose that I'm going to do, and my body is struggling way less with the motions. And even during when I was doing my warrior poses, I noticed that there was some tension in my chest, and I feel like it was a really good moment for me to kind of review and body scan and maybe kind of notice when I have tension in different parts of my body and how stretching really helps that. So it was really relaxing. So day 4, I try to push myself physically with the poses, especially the plank pose, but looking back at it now, I feel like I was like messing it up. Like I was lowering myself, but I wasn't like keeping my body straight, so it wasn't really a real plank. I was just messing it up. But either way, it was tough, but I felt more confident in all the poses overall, and I felt my body being a little bit more flexible, and overall, it was very refreshing and cool. Look at my cool socks. Now we go over to the last day, day 5. Very fulfilling because I felt very happy with myself doing this for 5 days, and I continue to push myself with the plank. It's very hard. I'm just like literally lowering myself a little bit more than usual. And I tried to focus on taking 5 breaths and measuring my breathing. And it was just really good time for me to relax, think about what I'm doing, and it was just, I can't describe it better than refreshing. And I even did some boat poses. And that was my 5 days. Before I delve into the conclusion of my findings, I do want to kind of review what yoga is and why it's such a prevalent exercise form in Western civilization. Because yoga actually began in ancient India. It began as a philosophical and a religious practice, and it comes from the Sanskrit word yog, which roughly means to connect. It has been redefined throughout the centuries, but in Western civilization, we don't practice yoga in a traditional sense that correlates with Hinduism. We practice a more modern form of hatha yoga. The reason we have this version of yoga in Western civilization is mainly part of the hippie movement of the 60s and 70s. And I do want to add that in Western civilization, we do practice other forms of yoga as well, like a bunch of different ones you can find classes for. I personally have done vinyasa, which is like super cool, but it's very deep stretching and not for everyone. And it's really cool that we do that, but when people start with yoga, they usually start with like this modernized version of hatha yoga. So what are the proven benefits of yoga? The National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, or NCCIH, is the federal government's lead agency for scientific research on complementary and integrative health approaches, which is really cool. And it says that yoga has a plethora of benefits, like a whole page of them. You could actually go down to the description. I'm gonna put a link on the kind of studies that I did from that web page, which sounds great if there were more studies done on the benefits. Currently, there's only a very specific demographic that has been researched concerning the benefits of yoga. And one would assume that the underrepresented demographic can also really benefit from this, but it's not a widely made research topic. But overall, from my research, I've concluded that yoga truly excels when treating symptoms of stress. People truly underestimate the way stress can take a toll on someone's body. It can create responses in your body that make certain muscles tighten, sore, or inflame. It can also weaken immune system since your body may be putting more energy into the stress response rather than energy on keeping your body healthy. Yoga is a practice that can reduce stress for various reasons. In turn, it may help with inflammation, strengthening your immune system, and pains in your body. The calm practice of moving towards different poses in a flowing motion can create the perfect environment for your mind to concentrate on how your body feels, letting yourself breathe properly, and giving yourself a moment of quiet where you can relax. As I've mentioned before, I'm very sensitive to stress, and the kind of toll it can take on one's body can be dangerous. Yoga is one of the many techniques you can use in your everyday to take better care of yourself and control those stress responses. And maybe it can even cure some of your boredom. And that's been my envy remedy. And if you want to see the rest of my recipe, you can possibly subscribe to see even more. And I'll catch you in my next cure. I will, because it's right here. And it's also here. And you can look at this cat while I awkwardly finish this video. It's gonna end soon, I promise. Just keep looking at it.